So, yeah, it's been a while. But I am back up with the bus. In fact, I've been back up with the bus a bunch. I just don't, I haven't filmed all of it, and I'm not even really sure where I left off on the channel. So, there'll be some footage from before, worked in somehow. I don't know how. I haven't watched it, so I don't know what I have. Don't know where I left off. But I can tell you where I am. And where I am is I have done a whole bunch of sheet metal. So let's see. We have finally finished all of the sheet metal on the passenger side. Just the passenger side, but it's all in there. Double layers here to be the flashing because I made the lift too high. Flashing on the bottom to tie in the sheet metal top and bottom. All Sikaflexed, all primed wherever I'm not going to be able to get to it anymore. I still have to prime the stuff that shows. But I can get to it, so I can still prime it. But all the way back through here, that little gap there is actually needs to be Sikaflexed back on, just screwed on. Turns out we shouldn't have taken that off. All the cap is in there. Ton of Sikaflex up in there. Probably a few more gaps I need to get into, but mostly sealed up. Some screw holes that need to be filled. We're not done, but it's pretty well roughed in. And we have the driver's side done from here all the way up to, in fact, here, which is 2 ribs back from the lift. So really all I need to do today is get a piece of sheet metal. Well, it's never all I need to do. There's always more I need to do. So there's a lot of cleaning up that has to happen. I need to put a piece of flashing in here. Because I get a bunch of Sikaflex in there, but nothing to really seal this opening. I have some flashing here and here. I need to get a piece that kind of comes over this part and then down into this bay. And after I get that done, and I get, a piece of flashing in here, and then a piece of flashing on 2 bays down there. Once I get that done, then we will be on to the front cap. And once the front cap is done, I think we're going to start the floor. We're going to get the floor rust remediated. There isn't a lot of rust, but we're still going to do it. And after that, I think we're going to prime the whole inside. So progress got made while I was offline. I just, didn't show it to you. Sorry. So I'm going to get some boots on so that I am less dangerous. And then we're going to get to sticking another piece of steel up on the side of the bus. Yay! All right, so let's talk process on how this goes down. I got a time lapse going, so hopefully I can show you this. But let me explain what I'm going to try to do. All right, we have the opening. In this instance, I'm going to butt my factory edge up on this rib. And I'll have to cap it here with a piece of one of the old caps I'll modify. I'm going to butt up right about here, I think. Well, you know what? I might notch it. We're going to see about that in a second. I have to see what I did on the other side. Maybe I'll notch it so that it butts up to here. Anyways, we're going to hang a piece of steel here. We're going to try to line it up on this line right here. I should say this is not the best way to do it. This is my least wrong way to do it. If I had this to do over, I would have raised the bus roof 16 inches instead of 20. Then I'd have it then my edges would would come in down here instead of right here. Right here to the bottom of that gutter, that's 48 inches. That's the full sheet. That means I have to do flashing at the top and the bottom to keep water out. Not ideal. Would have been better to be tied up underneath that gutter and then a couple inches down here and have done it at, you know, a 16-inch raise, because honestly, we're not really going to notice the 4 inches. I don't know why I chose 20. I think I do know why I chose 20, because it's going to give me a little bit of budget to keep the roof under 12.6, or keep everything on top of the bus under 12.6. So I was working down from my limit. It would have been fine if everything on the bus was under 12.4 too, or under 12.2. That wouldn't have been a problem. You can be as low as you want. Anyways, moving on from that, I'm going to take my 4-foot piece of steel. I'm going to hook it on 2 of these things. These go over the top of the bus to something solid on the, you know, near the adjoining near that rib on the other side. That's what I use to get it close. Then we use tiny little clamps. These are actually surprisingly the most convenient size. We clamp the steel to the rib somewhere, wherever we can find. Once we have the steel clamped in there, I go inside and I drill holes from the inside out on a couple of these existing holes. Mostly just to locate it. Once we do that, we bust out the clecos I think I've shown before. And this one's kind of messed up because it's got a whole bunch of Sikaflex in it. See if I can pull some of that out real quick. Clecos don't really care about the Sikaflex, but it does make it harder to see their action. Anyways, clecos. This one's cleaner. This one's clean. Clecos are cute little, like, temporary rivets, is the best way to describe them. So, you use Cleco pliers, you squeeze them, the little proboscis there comes out. I don't know if you can see the action, you probably can't, but basically, they come out, you can stick them through the nuts, they come back out, they get a little wider, and there's a little ridge right where my thumbnail is, that you can't see, right where my thumbnail is, and that little ridge gets wider and acts like a rivet, and hangs on to, I mean, it's not permanent, but it hangs on to the sheet metal and holds it tight to the bus. And we start installing those. We install a whole bunch of Clecos, and that lets me know where everything is, or where everything wants to be. From there, I will trace all of the structure on the inside of the bus onto the sheet metal using a Sharpie. I will take the sheet metal down again, which is why the Clecos are nice. I will then finish marking it out and make whatever cuts I need to make the sheet metal fit the bus the right way. Then, once we have done all of that, we can go back and prime the inside. I clean the metal, I prime it on the inside so that it's at least been primed once before it gets stuck in place. Then we Sikaflex the bus structure so that the Sikaflex is on something that's not going to move, though I end up making a ginormous mess every single time. Then we stick the steel back up and I start putting in rivets or whatever we're going to use to hold that steel up. I'm going with rivets. That's the process. It's the least bad, least wrong way that we've found to do it for our bus. Your mileage will vary because it always does. So I'm going to take a measurement right now, I think, of this height and width so that I can sneak my steel underneath that edge. I'm going to cut it before I bring it over here, and that's going to give me this lap because I want there to be a nice lap onto this, because this is in fact going to be blanked out. So I'm going to pause and get started on that. I've learned that those electric shears are awesome for making a big long cut, but you want to finish it with something with a little more finesse. Otherwise you end up overshooting your target real easy. Of course, I just did it with these two, so your mileage may vary. Dag nabbit. It is surprisingly hard to get a perfect cut there. Perfect corner. I think I just cut the wrong side. Son of a... I did. I cut the wrong side. Dag nabbit. I needed to leave 29 inches and then this one top. Damn it. Well, I get another shot at not screwing up the edge. Not how I wanted to get it. For those of you who are following along, I just cut off a 29-inch tongue. I'm supposed to leave a 29-inch tongue. Fortunately, the sheet's a lot longer than it needed to be. But that was dumb. That ain't gonna work. I'm gonna check before I cut it. Yeah, that's really close to 3 inches. Maybe a tiny bit off, but it's well within caulkable. Okay, so inadvertently having cut that wrong the first time. Now we're going to try to move the piece of steel up onto the bus and get it temporarily fixed in place. I'm going to see if I can get this time lapse to fire up again for that. That's already done. Alright, this piece comes past it. I've already been riveted. So I don't have to come out to like here or maybe here. Hey, I'm down here. All right. So now we finished spray painting, or finished we hung it, we drilled it, we marked it, we cleaned it, we spray painted it. And then I have some footage, I don't know how much before the time lapse kicked out, but we had me over here cleaning up all of this structure and spray painting that, just primer, just to seal it so it doesn't rust. We are now on to my Bête Noire, or in this case, Bête Blanc, Sikaflex. So Sikaflex is apparently the stuff to use. It doesn't ever really fully firm up, so the bus won't shake it apart. Stays strong. It's used all over industry. It's just always a mess. So I'm going to start another time lapse, and I am going to go up on the scaffolding, and you'll see me put Sikaflex everywhere I think it belongs, and then there'll be a couple places where it doesn't belong and it ends up getting all over me. That's just how this rolls. So I'm going to Sikaflex the bus, then I'm going to bring the piece back over, and I'm going to put a few Clecos in. And actually, in this case, I'm probably going to put a whole bunch of Clecos in to kind of suck it into the Sikaflex and make it really bond with the bus. So that's our next step. I'm going to kick it over to the time lapse, and hopefully you can see the last of the flat sheet metal panels going on. All right, all the time-lapse camera batteries are toast, so we're gonna try it with this. See if this lasts long enough. All right, well, that's it. Got a bunch of riveting. I got a bunch of rivets that need riveting. I got a whole bunch of trim I need to put up. I can't really show it's on the outside of the bus. And, little holes that need to be fixed. But the flat panels on the side of the bus have all been cut and placed and affixed in somehow. They've all been Sikaflexed. That's a milestone. I still need to work on the cap. That's going to be probably a couple weeks, a couple weekend days. But once I get the cap in, we can put the windows back in, and we can get this dried in, windows and trim. Pretty happy with this. All right, well, that's all I have for this week. And hopefully I actually get this video out this week. So hopefully I'll see you next week, and until then, have a great week. Oh yeah, like, subscribe, ring a bell, leave a comment, tell me I look funny, whatever. Interaction means that they show this to other people. Thanks. Bye.